and friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy, Jobu, as well as Joe Bayer in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys and you ladies, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business and let's wake up those football gods. Good morning, guys. Boy, do we need you guys as we sit here. 23 days, 12 hours, 38 minutes, and 10 seconds away from the beginning of the 2021 draft. Man, time is flying. You know, here's the great thing. We've been through the NFL winner and everything else, of course, watching Tampa Bay and Tom Brady getting a Super Bowl and then having that dead period. Guys, OTAs are going to start in about 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, they're going to be working out and starting to get ready for this season. I literally cannot wait. Now, a few months ago, Jerry Jones, hat in hand, came to us Cowboy fans and said that, you know, when you're the owner and the general manager of a team, you can't just fire yourself. Well, I'd actually disagree. I could say that you could put somebody else in charge. He said that he has to change, he must change, and he will change. And the question will be, and we can revisit this over and over again, is will Jerry Jones change? Now, we seemingly have been doing a lot of really, really good things in free agency. Now, we're not the team that's going to go hog wild in trying to get players in free agency. Free agency is kind of like one of those things that you have to do. Like if you're a husband, you know, if there's a spider, you know you're going to have to be the one that has to get up and kill it. You know, it's not one of those things you look forward to. Oh, yeah, let me kill some more spiders. But you know that you have to kill the bugs. It's just the way it is. It's one of those things you have to do. You signed up for it when you became a husband. And so that's the same way it is, it seems, when it comes to free agency. The Cowboys are proud that they don't spend a lot of money on free agents. Oh, they bring in people. They sign players, sometimes that have names, but they're not going to spend a whole lot of money because that's not what they do. Now, they do draft pretty well. I know we've had some tacos in there and some Morse Claibornes and stuff, but we've also had some really good players as well. And no team is perfect at drafting. See Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick understands if I get more picks, then I only need half of them to pan out. If I've got 12, if I get 6, I'm ahead of the curve. Whereas when you got 6 and you get none, well, you're kind of screwed. So Jerry Jones had the opportunity to sign KJ Wright. And here's the thing in football. When you hear most players talk about when they just came to a team or on a team and things like that, they will say, I'm here to help this team. It's one of those things that bothers me, but I get it. Demario Davis taught me that, hey, man, I am a 1099 employee. I'm an independent contractor. I go from job to job. I may like some places better than others, but in the end, it's a job. When people talk about loyalty, your loyalty is getting a check. Very few players. It's not like it used to be back in the day where there was a free agency where you were drafted by the Cowboys. You were going to play with the Cowboys pretty much your whole career. And so more times than not, it's about getting the biggest paycheck as opposed to saying, I'm wearing the star on my helmet. KJ Wright, he is up there. He's 31 years old. He is an older player, and maybe the Cowboys are looking at this and saying, we're having a youth movement. We're trying to build a team where we've got younger guys where we can compete for the next few years. We may not get there this year, but the team will be young enough that we can go ahead and challenge for the next few years. And maybe that's the reason why the Cowboys passed on him. But when you hear Stephen Jones saying that player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job, and you look at everyone as a potential to improve what you have, this is one of the ones that leave you scratching your head. You had KJ Wright, who's familiar with the system. KJ Wright, who loves the coach. KJ Wright, who says it's a dream to play in Dallas. You have to look at that and say, where's the problem here? Is it about money? I don't know, but that's a typical Jerry Jones move. I've had players in the past where I've looked at, from Calais Campbell to Demario Davis and others, the Honey Badger, that you look at and say, that guy can play and will make our defense better, will show leadership and such, but yet we don't do it. And so then I wake up this morning and I have several people share with me Chris Mortensen saying that Jerry Jones is infatuated with Kyle Pitts. Don't get me wrong. Kyle Pitts looks like the real deal. But this is kind of like that deja vu for us with Johnny Manziel. Jerry Jones, you remember, we heard Jerry Jones really likes Johnny Manziel. Show me the money. We heard before the draft that Jerry Jones was going to do everything it took to get Johnny Manziel, including trading up. That's what we heard. Go back to 2014, and you'll hear or read all of these scenarios where they were going into. Adam Schefter said that Jerry Jones will get Johnny Manziel, and there was rumors that he would trade up into the top 5 to do that. Well, Johnny Manziel actually fell right there for the Cowboys to take, and allegedly Stephen Jones took the draft card out of Jerry Jones's hand. Although the question I have, though, they weren't at the draft where you actually handed the card to somebody. They were back at the Cowboys facilities. So I'm not sure where the card would have been handed to, because it seems like the Cowboys end up calling the guys that are actually there at the draft and say, here's who we picking. But be that as it may, who knows? But supposedly Stephen Jones saved the Cowboys from getting Johnny Manziel, and the rest is history. Kyle Pitts. What Chris Mortensen was reporting is that Jerry Jones is basically in love, infatuated with Kyle Pitts. That Kyle Pitts, he looks at, I want me some Kyle Pitts, which would be a typical Jerry Jones Dallas Cowboys move. They've always been in love with pass catchers. They love the offense. Chicks dig the deep ball. And so does Jerry Jones. He wants to have that Madden, all-star offense. Score at will. The defense, man, I don't care. And you know what? Well, they're even saying that he's maybe willing to move up to try and take Kyle Pitts. Me personally, I hate the idea of moving up. I hate it. When I look at what we tried to get for Morris Claiborne, I'm not saying that Morris Claiborne didn't have the hype and everything else, but when you use 2 picks, that means not only did you fail on your number 1, that means that number 2 pick should have been another player on your team that should have been a starter. It's too valuable to risk. Let's take a look at Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, I'm not saying he's not outstanding. I'm not. But it always worries me when they have the moniker of the can't-miss player, the generational guy, the guy that's going to change football. The NFL highway is littered with guys that they said were going to be a Hall of Famer. Now, last year, 43 receptions, 17.9 yards per reception, 12 TDs. So we'll play the clip up here, too, so you can get yourself a little feel while I read the numbers. He's a beast. He could be the next Megatron as a tight end. The year before, 13 games, 54 receptions, 649 yards, 12-yard average. So he literally bumped up almost 6 yards per game with 5 TDs. He's big. I'm not going to say he's not. He's fast. He's strong. He'll be an incredible player. But on a team that has 3 potential wide receivers, over 1,000 yards, we probably would have had that last year had Dak not gotten injured. on a team that seems to be, for the most part, loaded, with the biggest worry being the offensive line help, on a team whose defense averaged, even after they started playing better, averaged what Kansas City scored a game, 29.3 points a game giving up. I wonder about this move. Now, here's where I'm going to play devil's advocate. I wouldn't have a problem if the Cowboys traded up for Kyle Pitts, as much as that's against my DNA. If you had done more to take care of your defense. If you had brought in a KJ Wright and said, we're going to load up for Bear, if you had got a great one technique nose tackle, I would say go for it. Get that guy. That maybe we can go from 29.3 points a game to, say 21. Then I'd say you're a monster squad. But the problem is we were on pace last year with Dak Prescott to score more points than any team in the NFL. We were averaging 32.6 points a game. That would have finished 1.5 points above where Green Bay was. But even Green Bay realizes you still have to have defense to win. You can't just say we're going to outscore everybody every single week. It doesn't work that way. You've got to have a defense that's going to take the football away, that's going to be able to stop people, stop the run so you don't run out of time. And these are all things that you have to focus on. It's cool if you think that the Cowboys during draft day end up moving up and take Kyle Pitts. Oh, my God, that would be like publicity all over the place. They would call that a coup. That would be great for all of us talking heads to talk about. But if we're talking about winning, I'm not sure that that's the move. But that is a Jerry Jones type of a move. Yeah, Kyle Pitts is great. I don't know that that's the move for us. And instead of moving up, I'd be okay with us moving back and getting 2 players as opposed to getting 1 with 2 picks. So with that being said, it is time for me to get out of here. I'm going to be on the road today. Got to go take care of some work down the country. So stove's not working and things, and get everything squared away on that. And as always, we will do our best to keep you updated on everything that is the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Mark Holmes, and I appreciate you, as always, for being here.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to